Hello and welcome to this video presentation of Write Anywhere. This product allows you to easily add text or patterns to any object in your scene using Decal nodes. You will also find tools that let you age or grunge the texts and patterns you apply using layers on the cutout opacity. Additional scripts enhance your global workflow. They provide tools to, for instance, clean an LIE or control all the LIE of a given selection more easily and faster. This presentation will be divided in three main parts. First, how to easily add decal nodes. Second, how to add text or patterns to these decal nodes. And finally, how to customize or add effects to these patterns. If you don't want to see everything, feel free to have a look at the time codes included and go directly to the part you want. So, everything is written or displayed on decal nodes, as you see here. Some people may not be familiar with them, but they are very simple and handy once you get used to it. You can think of them as stickers covering a geometry. But remember, only Iray can see them. If you are not in NVIDIA Iray preview mode or in a Iray render, you will not see anything. So, everything is written or displayed on decal nodes, as you see here. Some people may not be familiar with them, but they are very simple and handy once you get used to it. You can think of them as stickers covering a geometry, but remember, only Iray can see them. If you are not in NVIDIA Iray preview mode or in a Iray render, you will not see anything. What is really interesting with decal nodes is that they can be moved. See? Large texts, for instance. They can be rotated. They can be scaled. They can be recolored and so on. So this is very interesting. The first step is to add an Iray decal node to the object of your choice. Write Anywhere makes this process simple with 7 scripts available for that. The first 6 here are super easy for beginners and super handy for everyone, since you just have to select the objects, decide from which direction you want the decal to be clearly visible, and run the corresponding script. Let's look at this sphere, for example. If you want to write, let's say on the top of the sphere, okay, you want the decal node to be clearly visible from above, so you select the sphere and launch the from above, skip the message or read the message, and you have, okay, the decal node ready to be written from above, and it's selected by default. Okay, if you want to have the decal node clearly visible from backwards, you select the sphere, you select from back, you double click, and you have, here we are, and here we are, okay. The last script, this one, uses the world space rotation of the object, for instance this cylinder, and applies it directly to the decal node. As you see, it follows the orientation of the object. This can be sometimes handy, sometimes a bit tricky, which is why you have anyway those 6 orientation scripts to start with. If your decal node is not oriented exactly as you want, just remember that decal nodes can be adjusted in size, location and orientation like any other node. For instance, here my decal node is selected and I can adjust it. You see, it's the decal node which is moving, not the sphere. Okay, and I can push it, okay, this way. Here I have a random orientation. One thing that can happen when you resize it, translate it or rotate it is that at a given moment it looks cut. For instance, here I scale it down and see here in the middle it's cut. in this case, you just have to grab the blue arrow here and slide the decal node, all right? So that it's not cut anymore. So here it's for scale. And this is not more complicated than that. You can use, of course, the decal properties and adjust the clipping depth, height and width, or other properties if you want to. But I don't want here to confuse beginners, and advanced users already know how to do that. In the same way, adjusting the rotation of a decal node can help you minimize stretching on the texture, which sometimes happens at the borders, especially on very curved surfaces. The deformation of the word front here on the texture map is a good indicator of where stretching occurs. The goal of this product is to keep the center as flat as possible, so the center of the decal node, so that patterns and texts usually placed near the center are not deformed. So you can, for this, use a rotate, or you can use the, for advanced users only, please project and rotate. So now that we've seen the basics of adding a decal node, let's see how to add a pattern or a text to it. Later, we'll also look at how to alter them to age or grunge these texts or patterns. First, a pattern. In this folder, you already have several patterns included, which can be used on walls, outfits, or props. They will be loaded on the cutout opacity channel of the decal node. This means that the cutout opacity maps defines what's visible. White is visible and black is invisible. Remember, all the other surface properties, gloss, metallicity, base color, or normal map, they remain free for you to adjust them as you want. The only property carrying the information will be cutout opacity, for instance with this, okay? So here only the cutout opacity is modified, and you can change the base color as you want, and you can increase or decrease the opacity, of course, and or also gloss and so on. Now let's see how to add a text. For that, you have a dedicated script here called turn decal node into text front. Front, it's because it's writing on the front surface of the decal node. When you launch this script, you must either select the decal node you want to work on, or the node to which this decal node is parented. In the second case, if the node has several decal nodes, you'll be asked on which one you want to write. So let's go. The interface is very simple to use. It lets you write any text you want in white on the opacity map of the front surface of the decal node, which is going to be black by default, which is now black by default. That's why the decal node becomes invisible first. Before you write, the map is all black, so nothing shows. At the top left, you will find two utilities. The first one changes the preview mode, because remember that only NVIDIA Iray lets you actually see the decal nodes. And the second resets the opacity map, replacing any test or starting map you have with a clean black map to start with on a clean base. On the left here, you have everything related to the font, its properties, and the text itself. Here, for the font, you have the font style, the color, the opacity, the line spacing, placement, and at the bottom you have the text input box. The text color you choose here is applied to the base color of the decal front surface. The opacity of the text is linked to the cutout opacity dial of that surface. You also have buttons here and here to save your preferences. That way, if you make a mistake, you don't have to redo everything. Personally, I always save my preferences, and if the text is long, I copy it into a text editor, and only for correction purposes in case of a mistake, spelling mistake in general. As soon as you modify something, or when you click here, okay, the text is displayed on the pix map at the top right, here. You can also, thanks to this preview button, preview it directly in the scene, but only if you print the decal node before launching the script, of course. Take care, just one thing, if you choose black as your text color, you might not see it in the pix map since the background of the pix map is black, so it would be black on black. But it will still show in the scene if you click on preview. My recommendation is write your text in any color you like. Later, when the script is closed, you can adjust the base color exactly the way you want. And please note also that the text cannot be edited later. They can only be rewritten. So let's write something now. I'm gonna change the font, sorry, for Arial. Arial bold italic. So you see here, it's updated here. And okay, I'm gonna change the text. So you can make the usual command Control A, Control C, Control V, and so on in this area. I'm gonna write hello world, the famous, sorry, world, hello world. Okay, I take the center alignment, the text will be centered, so I can do this, and this is really small, so I want it bigger. Hello world, hello world. Oh, this is really big. Okay, and I'm gonna make preview. And here you have hello world. So as I told you, if you want something dark, it will be less and less visible here because you go very dark on black. Once you are happy, here, for instance, once you're happy with your message, you can save your image only or save and apply it. If you want to save or save and apply, by default, I think I have the fast saving settings. So the only thing that you must not forget to do is to click here. So here it's already there is already a folder, but it will allow you to choose the folder in which the images are saved. Otherwise, the script does not know where to save the images, and the images are not saved, and this is problematic for the rest of the process. So the only thing you have to do before you save is to click here, or you uncheck that, and when you make save and apply, you will have a pop-up window asking you where you want to save with which name. And that's all. So let's go for a save and apply. So it saves the image, it applies, okay. And now, as you see, the cutout opacity is having a written map. At this stage, the text is written or the pattern is added. From here, there are still a few things worth exploring. Customizing the decal node with maps or properties or edging effects, discovering the additional LIE tools, learning how decal nodes overlap and how to manage their order, which one is above, which one is below, and maybe a few other tricks along the way. There are two kinds of customization included in this Write Anywhere package. Here, first, I added a few base color maps delivered as partial shader presets. They usually look good with both text and patterns. Most of them are color maps. They are triggering color gradients, but of course you can use any color map you want or even a full shader. So here You can change the text color, black and white. Okay, and it works pretty well. For example, here you have a shader you love. In the front surface, just have a look at the name by left-clicking here, Decal image 16.0, okay, and apply the shader you want. Oh, this one. Apply the shadow you want, and here, come back and grab your map back. And now you have the shader, but with the text. Just keep in mind that this must be done before you age or grunge the material. Okay, second, I added many aging layers presets, which can be found here. Okay. And don't worry about using layered images. I also included an LIE Baker, which can be found here. Okay, and when you like the result of your layered images, just bake, and you'll get a new map instead of multiple layered images. All the presets can be found in this folder. Okay, second, I added many aging layers presets, which can be found here. Okay. And don't worry about using layered images. I also included an LIE Baker, which can be found here. Okay. And when you like the result of your layered images, just bake, and you'll get a new map instead of multiple layered images. All the presets can be found in this folder. Technically, these presets are layered image presets applied on the cutout opacity, which, as I remember, carries your text or pattern. This means that where your letters are perfectly opaque, they now become partially erased or less opaque, giving the text a damaged, aged, or grunge effect. For instance, what's this one? So it's building, okay, so this is here a huge effect. Let's take something lighter, for instance this one. Okay, so it is lighter, and to load them it's very easy. You just have to select the Decal node and double click, okay? And feel free to try different ones, because you also have a fast cleaner here, which removes all layers except layer 0. So which the layer 0 is your base text or your base pattern. Helio cleaned. And of course, you can combine several presets to stack effects. So I'm gonna use this one, for instance, and this one. Okay, don't panic, because the only temporary drawback is that each layer adds the same balance, so the text can become less and less visible. But don't worry about that. I included a script that lets you rebalance them exactly as you want, and even adjust the gamma or push the cutout opacity well above 1 to compensate for the loss of visibility. Let's look at an example of how these scripts can be used to customize your layered image much more than usual. This is this script. So just select the node you want to work on. So here it's our Decal node. All right. And launch the script. Okay, you will have an important information displayed only once a day, but I'm gonna explain it now. This interface lets you display any surface and property that uses a layered image. The two top drop-down menus correspond to that selection. The bottom drop-down menu lets you choose the specific layer you want to adjust. For example, if I want to lower the opacity of the first edging layer, I select it, adjust the opacity, third, and I click on Apply Changes. Why? Because of the time it takes to rebuild a layer or to apply a gamma correction. Only the booster cutout opacity reacts live. All the other dials you have to click on Apply Changes so that they are taken into account. Oh, maybe it is too much, 8. The advantage is that you can adjust several dials quickly without waiting for any background progress, and then click Apply once and it's done. You can also scale and translate the effects a little, but just remember that the layered image editor does not tile maps. So if you push too far, the effect may show visible cropping. And remember that if nothing happens, don't forget to click on Apply Changes. An important thing to remember at this stage is that by adjusting the gamma, or by boosting the cutout opacity well above 1, to compensate for the gray levels when maps are stacked, you can explore a wide range of effects. For instance, here I have a gamma of 1 and a cutout opacity of 2. I can go to something almost not visible, but I can change the gamma, Apply Changes. It recalculates the layered image and apply a new gamma. And you see the result is very different. And here, for instance, you push the gamma to a higher value. For instance, for the 2. Here Here I didn't click apply because I used the enter command, but otherwise it's Apply Changes. And as you see, the result is very washed, but you have the opportunity to push the cutout opacity up to 25. So here for the 2 is maybe too much. Let's say 3.7. It's going to probably be between the results that I'm looking for. Oh, that's okay. And it is different, and yet we have not changed the layers themselves, but just this couple global cutout opacity and layered image gamma. And when you're done with the settings, instead of having this mix here, you can just bake with this baker. So I hope the folder still exists. And otherwise you have to define a destination folder here. And click on Bake Now. And you have now a single map which is in the baked folder. So let's make a quick recap. This is a very easy to use product. You have tools to add where-oriented and pre-mapped decal nodes here. Then a tool to add patterns here, here, or text here. These texts and patterns can be further customized with your own shaders, or with the included base colors, or with the edging area effects. LIE, effects. And even the LIE can be customized further using the advanced LIE tools provided, such as this that we just saw, and the Baker. Thank you for your attention. As usually, if you have any questions, feedback, remarks, feel free to reach out on the Daz Forum, either via PM or in the commercial thread dedicated to this project.